Hey, what's up there, fellow gamers? And this is basically a little wrap-up video to the Adepticon footage. Had a great time. It was a total blast. If you haven't gone to Adepticon, get your butt in motion for next year. It's going to be a 10-year anniversary for Adepticon, so you know they're going to go big. You've seen the swag bag video. They actually gave you a War Machine starter box in it, which is basically the value of the ticket to even get into Adepticon. Plus, on top of that, they packed it with a whole bunch of other goodies, bits, books, whatever. It was awesome. And I just want to talk about some of the things I did at Adepticon, what I'm looking forward to next year, and maybe a couple of things on where my videos are going to go. So, one of the greatest things at Adepticon was I got to meet some of the podcasts, because, you know, the podcast I'm going to be running is going to be largely about what podcast to listen to, where to get the information, on top of my reviews on the gaming stuff, and that's about that. Link in the description to take a look at the 50-point hardcore army I had for War Machine. Got that bad boy done in like 30 days. I wish I could have made more videos, but that would have been less time for me painted, and I really had to crunch it in. As a matter of fact, on Friday night, I was actually painting models. Actually, no, Thursday night. Thursday night, I was painting a Widowmaker Marksman in the hotel room after drinking a bunch of Jameson. And I'm sitting there trying to get this thing ready. I mean, it doesn't match the rest of my army because I did it in like 2 hours, and I only had a brush that someone else had, and I had scrounged paints from other people from around. They didn't have the right colors, but I got it to look close enough to the rest of the army and squeezed that last marksman in there. And it came out okay. Well, now he's sitting in simple green getting stripped because I want to bring him up to par with the rest of the army. So that worked out awesome. Anyway, getting back to the podcast. The Eternal Warriors were there. Got to talk to some of those guys. See Swizzy, Dan, the rest of you guys. Really cool guys. I mean, their podcast is top-notch. Fun to listen to these guys. And in person, even nicer. They were just great guys. We had a couple of drinks, talked about some stuff, and like I said, they actually made me kind of feel like their group. It was just really nice guys. Awesome. The independent characters were there. Didn't get to talk to them much because they were too busy setting up the Warhammer 40k Championship cameras. So if you haven't seen it yet, check out their website. They have amazing footage of the 40k Championships. They had cameras on top. They had a guy on camera. Awesome footage there. The D6 Generation guys had a blast with these guys. Sunday night, they held a little board game night inside one of the rooms, and it was for the people who are basically going home on Monday morning. So after everything was shut down, these guys ran a super fun event. It was just a bunch of board games. You got to win a bunch of games. Craig, Wraith, awesome dudes, really nice guys. If you haven't heard the podcast, check them out. D6 Generation. They talk about every game possible. And I had a blast with those guys, playing Hex till like 3 o'clock in the morning with Craig. Absolute blast. Thank you guys for throwing a really cool event on Sunday night after everything was all shut down. Podhammer was there. Got to talk to Jeff for a little bit. It was funny. Every time I ran into Jeff, I was kind of too drunk to really talk to him on a coherent basis. So I would have liked to actually got to talk to that dude more. He seemed pretty cool, but you know, either drunk or it was the next morning. We were like on the way out. I was hungover, so it was just me and him I kept on running into him. I wanted to talk about a couple of things, but as I said, wasn't meant to be. So the painting contest at the Crystal Brush was awesome. The only thing was I was actually shocked about how little of the big name painters came down for this. I mean, the Golden Demons pull in more painters than the Crystal Brush, and there was such big cash prizes. Maybe because of the cash prizes, people were kind of like intimidated to see what people were going to have and stuff like that. But after looking at the case, there were beautiful stuff in there, don't get wrong. And there was some of the top painters there. but I just was expecting a much more of a pull because he had a $10,000 first place prize. He had like a $1,000 second place prize. He had beautiful trophies. I was expecting more, but maybe next year, as it gets a little bit more known, there'll be more people. But it was awesome. The person won. Great model. Excellent. Upcoming videos. What I want to talk about with the upcoming videos, I have a lot of the footage from Adepticon. I'm still working through that. I have tons of video footage. I'm trying to throw it together, put a little bit of music, no talking, basically just showing you what was there. Music montage, the whole 9 yards there. And the vendor hall was pretty good. Forge World was there rocking. They had their stuff. There was a line wrapped around the whole entire hall though. I wish they would have actually took care of the Forge World booth a little better. I think they should have had maybe even their own room because the line was so long, it was actually, the line was getting in the way of the vendors that were there, you know. So a lot of the vendor area, even the battle foam booth, was just this giant battle foam area. The line was coming out and wrapping around the battle foam booth. So it was actually hard to get to the battle foam stuff. Forge World is huge and you don't want to pay shipping, so you should plan that when, you know, you're going to have Forge World there and you don't got to pay the crazy shipping costs and all that stuff from Europe to the US, that there's going to be a big line. There's going to be a huge line. And they knew this because there was pre-orders. So many people pre-ordered a bunch of stuff. So they should have been somewhere else. Instead they had them in the back of the vendor area. So the line actually snaked through the whole vendor section. You know, Forge would have some really nice stuff there. They had a lot of limited models, but like I said, they should have been in their own section away from all the other vendors because their line was just tying up everything. Cool Mini and Not had a beautiful display case. Cool Mini and Not really gave the crystal brush case a run for their money. I mean, I know a lot of probably the painters that painted in the crystal brush painted for Cool Mini and Not as well, but just their case was phenomenal. They had beautiful figures. They had Marvel figures, Star Wars figures that were awesome. Soda Pop, great stuff. Next year, I'm looking forward to the Cool Mini and Not booth. That was just an awesome booth, awesome models, great showcase, had a great time. And what I did pick up, which is going to be coming up in my next review video, Instamold. I've been wanting to get my hands on this. A lot of people have been sold out on it. I got to try it out a little bit. I'm going to be messing with it some more, and probably my next video too, we'll be talking about the Instamold stuff and basically how it is to use, if it's simple, hard, whatever. I'm going to give you guys like an honest outlook on it. Never tried it, been messing around, having a little bit of trouble here and there, figuring it out, but I figure by next episode we'll have a nice review on that. I did manage to get the Battle Foam War Machine bag, so I was able to actually check that into the flight check, run that through the ringer, and open up my case, and models were good. I'm going to have a full review on the Battle Foam bags of all the bags I have, and on the way back, the bag actually went through a crazy flight back because I was trying to jam it into the compartment on the overhead. It was too small, then the lady had to check it, and when you get to New York, the way they do their bag check is there's like a ramp coming down, so I had my case flipping down this ramp, sliding down, so it actually went through a real ringer, and that's going to be a great video coming up. Anyway, Adepticon was awesome, had a blast, had a good time. Check out the videos coming up. Anyway, till then, see you guys later.